I was carving the Christmas turkey when my mother looked straight at me and said, "You're the disappointment of this family, Sarah." The knife slipped from my hand and clattered against the china plate. 23 people sat around the mahogany table in my parents' dining room in Charleston, South Carolina. My husband, Marcus, my two sisters with their perfect families, my father's business associates. Everyone heard it. The silence was deafening. I'm 32 years old. For the last 9 years, I've worked 80-hour weeks at Bennett & Associates, the commercial real estate firm my grandfather built in 1967. I've closed deals worth millions. I've sacrificed weekends, holidays, and my own sanity to prove myself worthy of the Bennett name. But none of that mattered in that moment. My mother continued, her voice sharp enough to cut glass. Your sisters managed to give us grandchildren. They married well. They know how to present themselves, but you? You walk around in your business suits acting like you're someone important. My father, Richard Bennett, 67 years old, didn't even look up from his wine glass. Marcus reached for my hand under the table, but I pulled away. I couldn't breathe. The chandelier above us suddenly felt too bright, the room too small, the air too thick. My sister Claire, 35, smirked from across the table. She'd been waiting for this moment. I could see it in her eyes. Mother has a point, Claire said, adjusting the diamond bracelet on her wrist. The company would be better off with someone who actually understands family values. Someone with children who will carry on the legacy. I stood up so fast my chair scraped against the hardwood floor. Sit down, Sarah, my father finally spoke. You're making a scene. Making a scene? I'd been silent for 9 years while they undermined every accomplishment, every success. Every moment I tried to prove I was enough. I've brought in 47% of the company's revenue in the last 3 years, I said, my voice shaking. I closed the Riverside development deal that everyone said was impossible. I've worked every single holiday, including last Christmas when Claire was in Aspen and Jennifer was in Paris. Money isn't everything, dear, my mother said, dabbing her lips with a napkin. A woman needs to know her priorities. Jennifer, my younger sister at 29, looked uncomfortable but said nothing. She never did. The turkey sat half-carved on the table. Steam rose from the sweet potatoes. Outside, Christmas lights twinkled on the magnolia trees lining the property worth $2.4 million that I had personally found and negotiated for my parents 3 years ago. I'm done, I whispered. What was that? My father asked. I said I'm done. I walked out of that dining room with my head high and my heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. Marcus followed me, grabbing our coats from the hallway. In the car, he asked if I was okay. I wasn't, that night, lying in our bed in our modest townhouse on Sullivan's Island. I made a decision that would change everything. I pulled out my laptop and started typing. Not a resignation letter. Something else entirely. By 3 a.m., I had documented every deal I'd closed, every client relationship I'd built, every proprietary strategy I'd developed. I had something my family didn't know about, something I'd been quietly building for the last 18 months. My phone buzzed at 6:47 a.m. on December 26th. It was a text from someone I never expected to hear from again. The text was from Daniel Rothstein, 61 years old, the man my father had betrayed in a business deal 7 years ago. I heard what happened at dinner. Meet me at the Harbor Cafe at 9 a.m. Come alone. How did he know? Charleston's elite moved in small circles, but this was too fast. Someone at that table had contacted him within hours. I arrived at the cafe at 8:52 a.m. Daniel was already there, sitting in a corner booth with a leather briefcase beside him. He looked older than I remembered, gray hair neatly combed, expensive suit that spoke of continued success despite my father's attempt to ruin him. Sarah Bennett, he said, standing to shake my hand. You look like someone who just walked through fire. Something like that. I sat down, ordering black coffee when the waitress appeared. Your father cost me $847,000 in 2018, Daniel said without preamble. He stole my clients, spread lies about my business practices, and nearly destroyed everything I built. But I survived, and I've been watching. My stomach tightened. Watching what? You? The deals you've closed, the way you operate with integrity that your father lacks. The Riverside Development Project was brilliant. I tried to bid on that property myself. He slid a folder across the table. What is this? Proof that your father has been siphoning money from Bennett and Associates for the last 4 years. Not from the company profits. From your commissions specifically. I opened the folder. Bank statements. Transfer records. My hand started shaking. $183,220 in commission payments that should have been mine, redirected to an account I didn't recognize. That account belongs to a shell company your father created, Daniel continued. He's been stealing from you while telling everyone you're the disappointment, while your mother humiliates you at family dinners. The betrayal wasn't just emotional, it was criminal. Why are you showing me this? I asked. Because I need someone like you. I'm expanding Rothstein Properties into commercial development. I need a partner, not an employee. Someone who knows the Charleston market inside and out. Someone your father underestimated. Marcus had been right to worry. When I told him about the meeting that evening, he paced our living room. Sarah, this could get complicated. Your family will fight back. Let them, I said. I have documentation of every deal I've brought to Bennett and Associates. Client relationships they can't replicate. And now I have proof of theft. My phone rang. It was Claire. Daddy wants to see you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. sharp at the office. Don't be late. She hung up before I could respond. I looked at Marcus. It's starting. I walked into Bennett and Associates at 7:55 a.m. on December 27th wearing my best Navy suit and carrying a briefcase that contained copies of everything Daniel had given me. My father sat behind his desk like a king on a throne. Claire stood beside him, arms crossed. Jennifer sat in the corner, avoiding eye contact as usual. Close the door, my father commanded. I did. Your behavior at Christmas dinner was unacceptable, he began. You embarrassed your mother in front of our closest friends and business associates. You owe her an apology. I placed my briefcase on his desk. I'm resigning effective immediately, Claire laughed. Good. You were dead weight anyway. Dead weight? I opened the briefcase and pulled out a document. I've closed 63 deals in 9 years. That's 7 deals per year on average. Claire has closed 12 total in the same time frame. Jennifer has closed 8. That's not the point, my father said, his face reddening. This company is about family legacy, not numbers. Then explain this. I slid the bank statements across his desk. Explain why $183,220 of my commission payments were redirected to Maritime Holdings LLC, a shell company registered to your name. The color drained from his face. Jennifer stood up. What, Daddy, what is she talking about? Sit down, Jennifer, Claire snapped. No, Jennifer's voice was stronger than I'd ever heard it. What did you do? My father had been stealing from me for 4 years while calling me the family disappointment. Those were expense reimbursements, my father said weakly. Company funds that needed to be reallocated. From my personal commission account. I pulled out more documents. I have 8 years of emails where you explicitly outlined my commission structure. 15% of every deal I close. This money was mine. Claire moved toward the documents, but I blocked her. Don't, I said coldly. I have copies. Multiple copies. And my attorney has copies, too. Your attorney, my father's voice rose. You're threatening to sue your own family? You stole from me. You humiliated me. You made me feel worthless while profiting from my work. The office door opened. Marcus stood there with a man I'd never seen before. Tall, black, early 50s, carrying a briefcase that screamed expensive legal representation. This is Leonard Hayes, Marcus said. He's one of the best employment attorneys in South Carolina. Leonard stepped forward. Mr. Bennett, I represent Sarah Bennett in matters concerning wage theft, hostile work environment, and embezzlement. We'll be filing a civil suit by end of business today unless we can reach an immediate settlement. My father stood up, his chair rolling backward. You can't do this. This is my company. My name on the door. Actually, I said quietly, Grandfather's name is on the door. And I have his original partnership agreement from 1967, the one that states any family Member who contributes significantly to company growth has claim to equity ownership. Claire's face went white. You're lying. Am I? My father pressed the intercom button. Security, I need you in my office now. That won't be necessary, Leonard Hayes said calmly, opening his briefcase. We're not here to cause disruption. We're here to negotiate. 2 security guards appeared anyway. Both men I'd known for years. Eddie, 43, who always asked about my day. And Marcus, different Marcus, 56, who brought donuts every Friday. Escort her out, my father ordered. Eddie looked uncomfortable. Mr. Bennett, maybe we should… Now! I gathered my documents slowly, deliberately. You're making a mistake. The mistake was keeping you on this long, Claire said. You never belonged here. You don't have what it takes to run a family business. Jennifer finally spoke. Claire, stop. Just stop. Stay out of this, Jennifer, my father barked. As Eddie and Marcus the guard walked me toward the elevator, employees stared from their cubicles. I'd worked alongside these people for 9 years. Celebrated their promotions, attended their weddings, brought them coffee during late nights. Not one of them said a word. In the lobby, Eddie whispered, I'm sorry, Sarah. This isn't right. The glass doors of Bennett and Associates closed behind me for the last time as an employee. My husband Marcus and Leonard Hayes followed me out. That went well, Leonard said dryly. They're scared. Your father knows he's exposed. My phone started ringing immediately. Unknown numbers. Then a text from my mother. How could you betray us like this? After everything we've given you, given me? They'd given me nothing but criticism and stolen wages. We went to Leonard's office on King Street. His conference room had floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the historic district. He laid out documents on the massive oak table. Here's what we know, Leonard began. Your father has been diverting your commissions for 47 months. The total amount with interest is $197,338. That's criminal theft. But the hostile work environment claim is stronger. I need you to document every incident of verbal abuse, discrimination, and public humiliation. I pulled out my phone. I've been recording family dinners for the last 2 years. Leonard's eyebrows shot up. You recorded them? South Carolina is a one-party consent state, I said. I can legally record conversations I'm part of. I have 18 recordings, including Christmas dinner. Marcus looked at me in shock. You never told me. I didn't know if I'd ever need them, but something told me to protect myself. Leonard played the Christmas dinner recording. My mother's voice filled the conference room. You're the disappointment of this family. Sarah, then Claire. The company would be better off with someone who actually understands family values. Leonard stopped the recording. This is gold. Discrimination based on parental status in the workplace is actionable in South Carolina. Your mother is listed as VP of Operations, correct? Yes. Then her statements constitute workplace harassment by a superior. My phone rang again. This time it was a number I recognized. Daniel Rothstein. Turn on Channel 7 News, he said. Right now. Leonard turned on the television mounted on his conference room wall. The news anchor, a woman in her 40s, spoke directly to the camera. Breaking news in Charleston's business community. Sources say Bennett and Associates, one of the city's oldest commercial real estate firms, is facing serious allegations of financial misconduct and workplace discrimination. My jaw dropped. The screen showed the exterior of my father's building. Then a photo of me, my professional headshot from the company website. Sarah Bennett, daughter of company president Richard Bennett, has reportedly filed complaints alleging wage theft and hostile work environment. Our sources indicate the amount in question exceeds $197,000. How did they get this? I turned to Leonard. We haven't filed anything yet. Leonard's face was grim. Someone leaked it. Someone who wanted this public before your father could control the narrative. My phone exploded with notifications. Text messages, emails, calls from numbers I didn't recognize. Marcus's phone rang. He answered, then his face went pale. It's my boss. Bennett and Associates is one of our firm's biggest clients. He's asking if I knew about this. My husband worked as an accountant at Morrison & Price. They'd handled Bennett and Associates books for 12 years. Tell him the truth, I said. Marcus stepped out to take the call. The news continued. Richard Bennett, 77, he's 67, I corrected automatically, has not responded to requests for comment. Industry insiders say this could devastate the firm's reputation in Charleston's tight-knit business community. Private Nightmare had become public spectacle in less than 24 hours. Leonard muted the TV. Sarah, this changes things. Public pressure can work in our favor, but it also means your family will fight harder to protect their image. They'll come after you with everything they have. Let them. My phone rang again. Jennifer, I answered. What? Sarah, it's chaos here. Her voice was shaking. Reporters are calling. Clients are calling. Daddy locked himself in his office. Mother is hysterical. Claire keeps saying you've destroyed the family. I didn't destroy anything. I exposed the truth. I believe you, Jennifer said quietly. About the money, about everything. I've been going through old files. There are other accounts, other transfers. Sarah, I think you're not the only one he stole from. My heart stopped. What do you mean? Remember when Aunt Patricia left the company in 2019? She said it was health reasons. But I found emails. She questioned some financial discrepancies and Daddy forced her out. Gave her a severance package with an NDA. Aunt Patricia, my father's sister. She'd been with the company for 23 years. Do you have copies of those emails? Leonard asked. I'd put the call on speaker. I'm looking at them right now, Jennifer said. I'm in the archive room. There's more. Uncle David, 2 former partners, even grandfather's original secretary. There's a pattern going back years. A pattern. My father hadn't just stolen from me. He'd been doing this for decades. Jennifer, don't let anyone know what you found, Leonard said urgently. Can you make copies? Already doing it. But Sarah, Claire just walked in. I have to go. The line went dead. Marcus came back into the conference room, his face ashen. I've been placed on administrative leave. My boss says it's a conflict of interest until this gets resolved. They can't do that, I said. They just did. We have a mortgage, Sarah. Car payments. We need my income. Guilt crashed over me like a wave. This wasn't just affecting me anymore. Leonard's assistant knocked on the door. Mr. Hayes, there are reporters downstairs asking for Sarah Bennett. Tell them no comment, Leonard said. My phone buzzed. A text from a number not in my contacts. You're going to regret this. See Claire. Threatening me via text message. Then another message, this one from my mother. Your father is in the hospital. I hope you're proud of yourself. My hands started shaking. My father's in the hospital. It could be a manipulation tactic, Leonard warned. Don't respond until we verify, but he was still my father. Despite everything, some part of me felt panic rising in my chest. Marcus looked at me. Do you want to go? No, Leonard said firmly, not without me present. This could be a setup to get you emotional, on record, saying something they can use against you. Another text from Jennifer. He's at Roper Hospital. Chest pains. It's real, but Claire is already talking to lawyers there. Be careful. I couldn't even visit my father in the hospital without it becoming a legal strategy. Leonard made a call. 5 minutes later, he had confirmation. Richard Bennett was admitted at 11:47 a.m. Preliminary diagnosis is anxiety-induced tachycardia, not a heart attack. He's stable. I should still go, I said. Then we all go, Leonard replied. And you don't speak to anyone without me present. We arrived at Roper Hospital at 1:23 p.m. The waiting room was full of people I recognized. My mother's church friends, business associates, Claire and her husband Trevor. Claire saw me and stood up immediately. You have some nerve showing up here. He's my father. You put him here, she hissed. You and your greed. You couldn't just accept your place in the family. You had to destroy everything. Trevor put a hand on Claire's arm, but she shook him off. Accept my place? My voice rose. You mean accept being robbed? Accept being humiliated? Accept being called a disappointment while doing the work that kept the company afloat? People in the waiting room stared. A doctor emerged from the double doors. Family of Richard Bennett? My mother rushed forward. I'm his wife. He's asking for his daughters, the doctor said. All three of them. Claire shot me a look of pure hatred, but followed the doctor. Jennifer appeared from somewhere, looking exhausted. The three of us walked down the sterile hospital corridor in silence. My father looked small in the hospital bed. Smaller than I'd ever seen him. He had oxygen tubes in his nose and monitors beeping around him. Sarah, he said, his voice weak. You came. Of course I came. I need to tell you something, he said. Something I should have said years ago. Claire moved closer to the bed. Daddy, don't strain yourself. The doctor said, Be quiet, Claire, he said sharply. Then he looked at me with eyes I didn't recognize. Eyes that held something that might have been regret. Your grandfather would be ashamed of me, my father said, his voice cracking. The monitors beeped steadily. Claire shifted uncomfortably by the window. Jennifer stood frozen near the door. Daddy, you need to rest, Claire tried again. I need to tell the truth, he said. Sarah, you remind me of him, my father. The way you work, the way you negotiate, your integrity. It terrified me, terrified you. I stepped closer to the bed because you were better than me, better than I ever was. Every deal you closed, every client who preferred working with you, it was a reminder that I only have this company because I inherited it. I didn't build it. I didn't earn it. I just maintained what he created. My father's confession wasn't making me feel better. It was making me angrier. So you stole from me? My voice shook. You took money I earned because you felt inadequate? I took it because I was scared, he whispered. Scared that one day the board would realize you should be running the company instead of me. That your grandfather's legacy belonged with you, not me. There is no board, Jennifer said quietly. It's a family business. There was supposed to be, my father said. Your grandfather's original agreement called for a board of directors once the company reached $10 million in annual revenue. We hit that in 2003. I buried the agreement. I made sure no one knew. Claire's face went white. What are you saying? I'm saying Sarah is right. The company should have been restructured 22 years ago. With her contributions, she has legal claim to equity partnership. The money I took was my attempt to keep her dependent, to keep her from having the resources to challenge me. A nurse entered to check his vitals. We all stood in silence until she left. I'm sorry, my father said, looking at me. I'm sorry for the Christmas dinner, for the years of criticism, for stealing what you earned. Your mother, she just followed my lead. I poisoned her against you because I was threatened by you. This doesn't change anything, I said. I still want what's mine. I know. And you should have it. But Sarah, Claire has been helping me, Jennifer gasped. I turned to look at my older sister. Helping you how? I asked. Claire's jaw clenched. Daddy, don't. She's been moving money, my father continued. Setting up accounts in her name. Taking client files. She was planning to push me out and take control herself. She's been using your lawsuit as a distraction while she positions herself to seize everything. That's not true, Claire shouted. He's lying because he knows he's going to lose everything. But her face told a different story. Leonard appeared in the doorway. Sorry to interrupt, but we have a problem. Bennett and Associates' main bank account was accessed 40 minutes ago. Someone attempted to transfer $1.3 million to an offshore account in the Cayman Islands. The bank flagged it as suspicious and froze all company accounts. All eyes turned to Claire. I was protecting company assets, she said defensively. With all these allegations, I needed to secure our funds. To an offshore account in your name? Leonard asked. I just got off the phone with First National. The account is registered to Claire Bennett Morrison, not Bennett and Associates. Daddy, tell them, Claire pleaded. Tell them you authorize this. My father looked at her with something like pity. I didn't authorize anything. Claire's husband, Trevor, stood up from his chair in the corner. Claire, what did you do? I did what I had to do, she snapped. This company is falling apart. Daddy's weak. Sarah's trying to destroy us. Someone had to take action. By stealing $1.3 million? Jennifer's voice was sharp. That's company money, money that belongs to all of us. It belongs to people who actually care about the family legacy. Claire shot back. Not people who run to lawyers the second things get difficult. Leonard stepped fully into the room. Mrs. Morrison, I need to inform you that attempting to transfer company funds without authorization is embezzlement. The bank has already filed a suspicious activity report with federal authorities. Claire's face drained of color. Federal authorities? Wire fraud. It's a federal crime. You're looking at potential prison time. I'm pregnant, Claire blurted out. I'm 12 weeks pregnant. They can't arrest a pregnant woman. The room fell silent. Trevor looked at her in shock. You're what? You said you couldn't get pregnant. The doctors said, I lied, Claire said. I lied about a lot of things. My mother's voice came from the doorway. What is happening in here? She looked fragile, older somehow. Her perfect makeup was smudged. Her hands shook as she gripped her designer purse. Mother, I need you to call our lawyer, Claire said desperately. Marcus? No, wait, Sarah's Marcus. I mean my lawyer. Call Patterson. Elizabeth Patterson? Leonard asked. She can't help you. She represents Bennett and Associates as a corporate entity. This is personal criminal exposure. Claire had tried to steal over $1 million, and now she wanted Mother to fix it. My mother looked at my father. Richard, what's happening? Our daughter committed a federal crime, he said flatly. Both our daughters, actually. One by exposing my theft, one by attempting her own. Don't compare me to her, Claire hissed, pointing at me. I was trying to save the company. She's trying to destroy it. You were trying to save yourself, Jennifer said. I found your emails, Claire. You've been planning this for months. You were going to force Daddy into early retirement, push Sarah out, and install yourself as president. The offshore account was just your escape plan. Claire lunged at Jennifer, but Trevor caught her arm. Don't touch me, Claire screamed at him. Don't any of you touch me. Hospital security appeared at the door. We're getting noise complaints. You need to keep it down or leave. Leonard addressed the security guards. Can you please document that you witnessed this disturbance? I'm representing one of the parties in ongoing litigation. The guards looked confused but nodded. My phone buzzed. A text from Daniel Rothstein. I'm downstairs. We need to talk, now. I looked at Leonard. He nodded. As I turned to leave, my father called out, Sarah, wait. I stopped but didn't turn around. Your grandfather left something for you. In a safety deposit box at Palmetto Bank. Box number 847. The key is in his desk, the hidden drawer on the left side. Your mother doesn't know about it. Why are you telling me this now? Because I'm tired, he said. Tired of lying. Tired of fighting. Tired of being the villain in my own family story. Whatever's in that box, he wanted you to have it. I left without responding. Daniel was in the lobby, immaculate as always despite the chaos. We need to move fast. Your grandfather's original partnership agreement. I have a copy. How? Because I was his attorney before your father pushed me out. Daniel handed me a folder in the hospital lobby. Inside was a document dated March 15, 1967. Your grandfather and I were friends for 34 years, Daniel said. Before he died, he told me he was worried about Richard. Said your father didn't have the character to run the company long term. He made me promise to watch over the business, to make sure his legacy survived. I scanned the partnership agreement. The language was clear. Any family member who contributed significantly to company growth, defined as generating more than 25% of annual revenue for 3 consecutive years, would automatically become an equity partner with voting rights. I've exceeded that, I said. By a lot, I know. Which means you're not just an employee, Sarah. You're a legal partner. Your father has been violating this agreement for years. Marcus appeared, carrying coffee. The reporters are multiplying outside. This is becoming a circus. Leonard joined us. I just got a call from the FBI. They're opening an investigation into the wire transfer attempt. They want to interview everyone with access to company accounts. My phone rang. Jennifer. Sarah, you need to get to Palmetto Bank right now, she whispered urgently. I'm looking at grandfather's desk. The key is here, but Claire just left the hospital. I think she overheard Daddy. She's going to try to get there first. I'm 15 minutes away. She has a 10-minute head start. I ran toward the parking lot. Marcus and Daniel followed. Leonard shouted he'd meet us there. We made it to Palmetto Bank at 3:47 p.m. Claire's silver Mercedes was already in the parking lot. Inside, Claire stood at the counter arguing with a bank manager, a thin man in his 50s named Gerald Pritchett. I'm Richard Bennett's daughter, Claire was saying. I have power of attorney. I need access to Box 847. Ma'am, I explained that Box 847 requires specific authorization. Only designated individuals can access it. Claire saw me enter. Of course. Of course she'd come here. I approached the counter. I'm Sarah Bennett. My grandfather, Thomas Bennett, established Box 847. I have the key. I held it up, a small brass key I'd grabbed from the desk drawer while Jennifer kept watch. Gerald's face relaxed. Yes, Miss Bennett. Your name is on the authorized list. If you'll follow me. She doesn't have power of attorney, Claire shouted. I do. I'm the oldest daughter. The box predates any power of attorney, Gerald said calmly. The terms were set by Thomas Bennett in 1989 and cannot be altered without court order. Claire's face turned red as she realized she'd lost again. In the private vault room, Gerald left me alone with the safety deposit box. Marcus stood guard outside. I could hear Claire yelling in the lobby, threatening to call her lawyer, making a scene. The box was larger than I expected. Inside were documents, letters, and a sealed envelope with my name written in my grandfather's handwriting. The envelope contained a letter dated 2 weeks before he died in 2016. My dearest Sarah, if you're reading this, it means things have gone wrong. I knew your father's weaknesses. I knew he would feel threatened by your strength. I'm sorry I won't be there to protect you from his insecurities. The documents in this box prove that Bennett and Associates should have been restructured in 2003. Your father prevented it. These documents also show the true financial state of the company, including accounts he's hidden, money he's diverted, and deals he's misrepresented. You are the future of this company. You have my vision, my integrity, my drive. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. The second envelope contains something else. A gift I set aside for you, knowing you might need resources to fight for what's rightfully yours. I love you. I'm proud of you. And I'm sorry I didn't make things clearer before I left. Your grandfather, Thomas Bennett. The second envelope contained a bank statement. An account in my name, established in 1989 when I was born, with monthly deposits from my grandfather. Current balance, $573,847. I walked out of the vault room holding the documents against my chest like armor. Claire was still in the lobby, now on her phone, her voice shrill. I don't care what you have to do, Patterson. Get a court order. Get something. She saw me and ended the call. What did you find? The truth, I said simply. Leonard arrived, slightly out of breath. I handed him the documents. He flipped through them quickly, his eyes widening with each page. Sarah, this is everything. Bank records showing systematic theft going back to 2003. Falsified financial reports. Client agreements your father altered. This isn't just about your stolen commissions anymore. This is securities fraud, tax evasion, breach of fiduciary duty. He's going to prison, Claire whispered. Daddy's going to prison. For the first time, I saw real fear in her eyes. Not anger, not jealousy, fear. Maybe, I said, or maybe there's another way. We returned to the hospital at 5:33 p.m. My father was sitting up in bed looking stronger but devastated. My mother sat beside him, holding his hand. Jennifer stood near the window. Claire burst in behind us. Tell them, Daddy. Tell them grandfather was senile when he wrote those documents. Tell them it doesn't mean anything. Be quiet, Claire, my mother said softly. It was the first time I'd ever heard her speak to my sister that way. I laid the documents on my father's hospital bed. Grandfather knew. He knew everything you were doing. And he left me the proof. My father looked at the papers and closed his eyes. Of course he did. Thomas always was smarter than me. Sarah, what do you want? My mother asked. Her voice was small, defeated. What will it take to end this? I looked at Marcus, at Leonard, at Daniel standing in the doorway, at Jennifer, who gave me an encouraging nod. I want Bennett and Associates restructured according to grandfather's original agreement. I want a board of directors established. I want my $197,338 in stolen commissions repaid with interest. I want equity partnership with voting rights. That's everything, Claire said. That's the whole company. No, I corrected. That's what I earned. But there's more. I turned to my father and my voice was steady and strong. I want you to step down as president, effective immediately. My mother gasped. Claire started to protest, but Trevor put his hand on her shoulder, silencing her. And I want Claire to resign from any position within the company. She can keep her existing equity. I'm not vindictive, but she's done making decisions. Who will run it? My father asked. You? Daniel Rothstein and I are forming a partnership. Rothstein Bennett Properties. We're purchasing 60% of Bennett and Associates' assets and client contracts. You'll retain 40% and continue to receive income, but you'll have no operational control. You're buying us out with our own company, Claire said bitterly. I'm buying you out with my inheritance and my own money. The $573,147 grandfather left me, plus the investment capital Daniel is contributing. Leonard has already drafted the contracts. My father looked at me for a long moment. You really are his granddaughter. Yes, I said. I am. I'll sign, he said quietly. On one condition. You're not in a position to make conditions. Please, he said. And for the first time in my life, I heard genuine humility in his voice. Let me make this one right thing. The house, the one you found for us on Magnolia Row, worth $2.4 million. It's in your mother's name. Let her keep it. She didn't know about the theft. She just followed my lead. I looked at my mother. She was 73 years old, and in that moment, she looked ancient. Fine, I said. She keeps the house. 3 weeks later, on January 18, 2026, the papers were signed. Rothstein Bennett Properties officially launched with 17 former Bennett and Associates clients, $4.7 million in active contracts, and a reputation for integrity that my grandfather would have been proud of. My father sold his remaining 40% stake within 6 months and retired to Hilton Head. Claire and Trevor moved to Atlanta. Her pregnancy was real, and I heard through Jennifer that she had a daughter in July. Jennifer joined Rothstein Bennett Properties as Director of Operations. She was better at the work than any of us realized. Marcus got his job back after the investigation cleared him of any wrongdoing. My mother and I have lunch once a month now. We don't talk about that Christmas dinner. We don't need to. On Christmas. 2026, exactly 1 year after she called me the family disappointment, I closed the biggest deal of my career, a 23s, $6 million mixed-use development in downtown Charleston. I celebrated at home with Marcus, Jennifer, and Daniel. We had turkey, we had wine, we had laughter, and nobody called me a disappointment.